If your dog doesn't listen to you at the vet, then you want to ask yourself, how does the rest of your life look with your dog? Because if your dog doesn't really listen to you that well at home or in other areas where distractions are present, then the vet is going to be a very challenging situation because it's close quarters, closely confined, and if you have other dogs or animals in the waiting room, the distraction is really high, there's more excitement, but there's also more insecurity and sometimes anxiety that the dogs display that they usually don't display on a regular basis because the vet is just that way. Kids going to the doctor to get shots, they feel that way too. But we can tell our kids, hey, it's okay, this is what's going to happen. We can prep them and have them reason and logic and understand what's about to happen, and we can comfort them. But your dog, you can't tell them it's okay. You can't help them reason and logic. What you need to do is have really good leadership in place, have a really good relationship with your dog where your dog listens to you really well, and you go into the vet's office and you enforce your commands. You enforce the accountability. It's a very structured time. So what you really want to have in place as a prerequisite is you walk into the vet's office and you check in, you stand at the check-in counter. You either want a really good sit command or a down command where your dog downs and doesn't pay attention to anything else. You need to have that already a skill before you go in. When you go sit down in your seat and wait for them to call you to the back, same thing. Your dog needs to learn the art of chilling out, waiting patiently, turning the brain off, and doing nothing. They don't have to sit there and scan and react to every little thing that happens. So it's really good to be able to have the right relationship, right leadership in place before you get there. And then you're enforcing what you already know when you do get there. When you walk into the room, so the vet calls you back, you go into the room. First thing I like to do is one of two things. I'll tell the dog to sit or down, and they're holding the command patiently, or I'll go ahead and tell the dog to place, and they'll jump up on the table if they can jump up there. In some cases, I'll pick up a dog and put them on the table, and I'll have them lay down while we're waiting for the vet or the vet tech. And once the vet tech comes in, I'm keeping the dog under control, and I'm addressing the vet just like I do any other person when I'm out in public, and the dog is accountable. And then when the vet tech starts to push, not push, but when the vet tech starts to poke and prod the dog and do different things, then I tend to distract the dog a little bit too, and a lot of the vets are really good at that. So when the dog is getting poked and prodded, I typically have the dog standing on the table, and I'm at the front of the dog, and I've got the leash or maybe something close to the collar, and the dog is not allowed to turn their head and look at the person behind them, especially if they're taking the temperature or about to give an injection. I've got the dog accountable, and if there's something that's going to happen that's uncomfortable for the dog, I'll tend to distract them by, I won't necessarily have the dog just endure the uncomfortable situation. I'll actually distract them. So I might be rubbing their shoulder, pet them on the head, and in a way that's like really distracting for the dog. So when they feel the needle go in, they might not even notice. When the needle goes in, the dog might not even notice. Same thing with getting the temperature taken and things like that. Now, if the vet needs to check teeth, mouth, ears, things like that, you really got to have this stuff dialed in before you get there. You should have your dog understanding the right handling, and you should be practicing handling exercises with your dog anyway because you have a dog. You should be checking the paws, checking the teeth, checking the ears, checking the tail, lifting the tail, touching your dog all over, helping your dog just learn that, hey, you get touched in certain places, it's okay. So that way your dog isn't too sensitive, and also you don't want your dog snapping at the vet when they're trying to check the ears or check the teeth. So handling exercises go a long way, but it doesn't guarantee that the dog will be okay with it when the vet does it. And so in a lot of cases, if I have a dog that might snap at the vet, but they're comfortable with me, because I've already proven to them that I'm their leader, they trust me, they respect me, then in a lot of cases, I can manipulate the dog's teeth, mouth, gums, ears, and the vet can stand there and kind of get a visual with the light or whatever, and we can do it that way. So in a lot of cases, when I take a dog to the vet, I actually work together with the vet tech or the doctor to help get the job done, whatever that is. But it's really good for owners to have a little bit more knowledge and a better ability to handle their dog, not just with touching handling, with ears and teeth and paws, but also dog handling, where you're leading the dog, your dog walks nicely, follows your lead, listens to you, respects when you ask him to sit down, double down, especially if you're around bigger distractions and things like that. So now there's quite a bit that we're talking about right now. There's several protocols in place. It's not just one thing, but we're actually taking a look at the big picture of the life that you have with your dog and having all areas sorted out to where you can actually go out in the world and do stuff. It's not just the vet. That's really a sensitive place for dogs, but it also includes walking through the pet store or going to the beach or walking through the park or having your dog ride nicely in the car and not freak out with distractions when you drive by, things like that. We really want you to be able to enjoy the life that you have with your dog without the conflict and without the frustration, but it's really up to the dog owner to set yourself up for that kind of success. If you don't do much with your dog, if you haven't made the commitment to helping your dog overcome challenge, then you're not really serving your dog. You're not really helping your dog learn how to fit into this world. And the person that loses at the end of the day is the dog. Because dogs are people too. Wait, is that okay? Dogs are people too, but not really. You might have to cut that out. My name is CJ Quick. I'm with Intelligent Canine. If you have questions, I want to know about them. So go ahead, contact us, and let me know what your questions are, and we'll see what we can do to help you. Right now, what we're doing is we're going through a big change. We're revamping a lot of what we're doing, and we're creating a lot more videos and a lot more explanatory stuff so that you at home that might not be able to get help from us personally, either you're out of the area or don't have access, can still get the help you need and get some of your questions answered, and also may even be able to train your dog without ever actually calling a trainer. So questions, let us know. We're happy to help you. I'm CJ Quick. Peace.